Patrick? We good to go?
Is it working? Oh, can shout, can sing.
So in the meantime, we have that. Okay, here we go. Take this one. So Patrick, first and foremost, the cabin looks good.
Thanks.
It looks real good. I had a chance of seeing it. One of the things that I've noticed over a short amount of time, even being a passenger myself, is it seems like passenger experience and aesthetically pleasing cabins is becoming more and more important. Do you agree that passenger experience is becoming borderline critical for airlines?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's an important. I mean, the way we designed that cabin was to first look at all the stakeholders in the industry. So we went looking at airlines, obviously. We went looking at passengers, different other stakeholders, and what are the new trends? Because that's the fourth iterations of the fourth generation of the CRJ cabin. And we wanted to respond, obviously, to what the market wants. So you mentioned the aesthetics. Obviously, this is an important point these days in everyday life. By the way, but when you look at the objects we buy now, the design is very important because it makes us feel better, I think. So we created a year and a half ago a cabin design team, and they provided a lot of inputs. I'm not going to go into the details, but looking at the trends in Asia, the trends in Europe, the trends in the Americas, what the people like in terms of just pure design. Okay, so that was a big part that we integrated into the cabin. Other trends as well. I mean, this generation of people flying in most regions now are people that have flown all the time, all their life, and they're used to it. So what they want now, beyond comfort, they want easy access to the plane. It's part of their normal life, if you want. So they want, being able to carry their bags with them, having everything they need, and even for people, we enter, in some regions, generations where we have people who are a bit elder or people with kids, and traveling now. More and more people travel, and these people want to have more space, in the plane like they have on the ground.
So you just mentioned a couple of the reasons or opportunities there were to create this new cabin, but I'm curious to take it way back to where it was at the idea standpoint. Where did the inspiration come from? Where did the insight come from to create the atmospheric cabin?
Well, like I said, we really looked at what the market was.
So it's market demands first and foremost.
It's market.
Okay.
It's the market. You don't design something, I don't know. You design something for the market. That's why we had the best cabin today. We're going to introduce that best cabin on the regional space. It's because it's market based. And there's other features like trends that we looked at. I mean, airlines want to have branding opportunities. It's big for airlines to be able to, when you enter the Delta airplanes, from a regional jet to wide body, you feel you're in the Delta airplanes, and same for the other airlines. So that was a big input from the airlines.
It's a huge branding opportunity as well.
Absolutely.
Norman, I did my homework before you and I are going to have a chat, and I went to your website, and I'm quoting. The website says that your company mission is to design, certify, manufacture, and support the world's most innovative aircraft cabin interiors. Certainly achieve that with the atmospheric cabin, and helping Bombardier hit their main objective of elevating passenger experience. What were some of the areas you were looking at? Because we heard from a branding and opportunity standpoint, market demand. What were you looking at? What kind of areas were you looking at in terms of design?
So I think first of all, it starts with a great collaboration. We knew from talking with our customer what the customer wanted, what they believed their customers wanted. And for us, we know from our own market exercises and from our own ZEO design studio, where we're constantly looking at evolving the state of the art, we knew there were certain things that modern cabins really needed to have and wanted to have, and business travelers in particular wanted to have. So we took some of those concepts and included them into a larger lavatory, larger overhead bins in business class for wheels-in first application, and of course seats, although it doesn't come in under me, the seats are larger in the business class cabin, and just the general, I would say, ambiance that's created. And we also looked at accessibility in the case of the lavatory as well.
definitely a soothing environment. Patrick, one of the most exciting aspects of this new cabin is that beyond customer satisfaction and surpassing expectations, there is a huge upside for the airlines in terms of branding, as we mentioned before. Can you talk a little bit about the value, the added value that they have now access to?
Well, yeah, there's plenty of things. Like when you look at the trends that I was mentioning and how we executed on this, you know, for an airline and for passengers, I think in general, there's a lot of takeaway. First of all, like I said, like Norm said, I mean, we work together on ensuring we have the most, you know, volume available for luggage, for hand luggage in the cabin. That's a big, big requirement these days. So we have the wheel first bin in business class. We have bins that can accommodate, I think, the largest carrying bag existing today, even bigger than what airlines would allow these days. So you'll be able to see that, which is another big feature that we see coming up for the future. We also see things like, you know, the PRM compatible lavatory. So passenger with reduced mobility, you know, having a lavatory which is compatible with these people. Again, like I said, parents with kids. You know, people with different disabilities. The fact that we can offer something in the plane where you have some dignity when you have to go to the lavatories is a huge plus, and I see that also coming. So there's plenty of things like this. Mood lighting is the first. Also, you know, the PRM lab is a first in the industry for regional jets. Mood lighting as well. We have for the first time mood lighting, full mood lighting to match what airlines want in terms of branding in the cabin, which was a strong requirement. So there's plenty. I mean, I could go on and on this. There's plenty of features in the cabin that are designed for the airlines and for the passengers.
You touched on one that hits me specifically, especially when I travel regionally, which is really the most frustrating part for me for regional travel. The lack of space in the overhead bin, right? We've all been through that. That is frustrating. Somehow, Norman, you found a way to overcome that challenge. How did you do it?
You know, you're always in a I would say a design compromise. You've got to maximize the availability of headspace for your passengers coming into the airplane and accessing seats. You don't want to infringe too much on the cabin atmosphere itself, and you also have to be able to accommodate that bag. So between again a collaboration with the customer and trying to figure out what was the right balance there, doing some creative things inside the bin itself, the latch mechanism and the back configuration of the bin, we were able to achieve that wheels-in configuration.
And I must say, on top of this, I mean, the collaboration on this was great. We had a kind of an idea of what the bins would look like, you know, but the magic of, you know, of Zodiac came in and they came up with all these ideas, new ideas of having hinges, you know, hidden in the structure, of having the latches, you know, below the bins and all these things, which open the door much more. So it was a true collaboration, and I think it was great.
And I can sense that collaboration between you two right now, and it is an important part of the puzzle. I just want you to dive a little deeper, Patrick, in terms of that collaboration, because I think it's important for everybody here to hear that. This was a special working environment to work in with regards to Zodiac, and vice versa with Bombardier. Can you maybe just give us some impressions of how it was, what kind of environment it was in terms of, was it testing, were we challenging each other, coming back and forth in terms of ideas?
Well, we know each other for a long time. We've been working with Zodiac on that program, so I think it was extremely natural, I think, the way we worked together.
And how important, on a side note, in your opinion, in the big scope of things, how important was this?
What the
working relationship?
Oh, absolutely great. I mean, it's very important because at the end of the day, you need to think async. You know, when you design a cabin like this, you want to avoid the back and forth, so you can produce a product very, very quickly to the market. And that's what we achieved, by the way, in a very short period of time. We came up with this great cabin.
Last but not least, I'm putting you guys on the spot. Your favorite feature of the new Atmos Fan cabin is, and no, I will not accept all 5 as an answer, right? So what do you got? What do you prefer?
You have 2 hours?
No. I got like 2 minutes.
I don't know, there's so many to choose. I really like the PRM Lab because I really think that's something for the future, but I opt for the bags because really the big bins and the fact you can not gauge check your bag and just put it in the bin and keep your bag with you is a great plus for the industry moving forward on the regional space.
Curious to know yours?
If you saw me walk up here, you know a few extra inches in the lab is quite important, so I'll take that.
You guys were great. Thanks very much for the energy, guys. Norman, Patrick, everybody, round of applause.